Hi all, Christine Bayer here, licensed master esthetician for about 19 years, and today I'm continuing on in our Q&A, and I have a bunch of gals who want to know about thinning under eyes, redness under the eyes, shadows under the eyes. If this is you, stay tuned because we're going to tackle this problem today. So Jocelyn, Alicia, and Sarah, all from my group, are asking the question, how can I address redness under the eyes, dark circles under the eyes, a thinness under the eyes that they think is hormonal? The under eye area is just a tough area. It thins with age, we know that. It's the thinnest skin on the entire body. And so we need to treat it with kid gloves. And another thing that happens is a lot of people are very sensitive, like they can't, usual eye creams will seep into their eyes or whatever and cause a lot of problems. And I've worked with lines that have really thick, viscous eye creams that maybe have a pearlescence to them. And while it makes the under eye look amazing, if that stuff seeps in your eyes, I can think of one brand in particular, oh, it is a killer. And I'm not going to name the brand, but it is a very, it's a nice under eye cream. It's just, oh, it gets in your eyes. You like weep for days trying to get that out. So I tend to like eye serums and lighter eye creams that don't travel and aren't really iridescent and just are easier on the eyes. And I've talked about this many times, the Neogenesis eye serum. So you do one pump and you get that much, right? And I don't even know where I could put this. I'll go ahead and put it under my eyes. And really you're supposed to take that, divide it between the two fingers. I usually tell people the two pinkies, and put it under your eyes. I actually put this above my eyes and everywhere else, on the lid and upper lid as well. You know, the funny thing about Neogenesis is Dr. Greg, who is the developer and the founder of the company, he spent a while working in ophthalmology or with the eyes, and so he has a good idea of, you know, what to put into an eye product and what will be tolerable. And when they first told me about this is my holy grail eye serum. And when they first told me about this, I was like, oh yeah. And the salesperson was just like, oh yeah, and we got a really good eye serum too. And I was like, okay, so give me 10 of those. This has been a bestseller for me. And this is probably one of the only products I've ever seen that thicken up the eye area. And you can go back and look at one of the videos. God, it was like 2-3 years ago. And I was just so excited because it gave me back some plumpness under my eye. I could not even believe it. It thickened up the under eye skin, and I'd never really worked with an eye cream that had done it before. I spent $160 on an eye cream when I was just getting into aesthetics. I think I was 29. It was that Revive. And you know what? It did take away my, what did I have back then? Maybe some fine crow's feet or something. And it made them go away like overnight. But I think I was using, oh, don't laugh, but Lubriderm on my face back then. You know, if you're not in aesthetics, you don't know, and there wasn't the amount of choices back then. You know, the internet wasn't going like it is today. There just weren't that many choices. And so I did all my research and I looked this up, and it was epidermal growth factors back then. But the thing is, this is so much more advanced than that product. Epidermal growth factors, they're known in the business as these princesses because they're very delicate and they can die in a product really easily. And so that's why Dr. Greg was like, you know, I need to make a product that works like human stem cells work, you know. So there's a lot of science behind this product, but it works really well for thickening up the under eye tissue. Now, as far as modalities that you can use to thicken up that under eye tissue, microcurrent, of course, works really well. I used to talk about and used to love these little handheld, I don't think I have them. I don't have them anymore. I'll look for a picture. There are handheld 5-watt each, little mini RFs with like an LED light in them. And the LED light wasn't really doing much because it wasn't on the skin long enough. It was pretty weak. But the RF was really tolerable, and it would, you know, with time, maybe about a month, but you could see an immediate result with it, which was nice. But if you did it once a week, once or twice a week for about a month, it really would thicken up that eye area quite nicely. And that was just a little handheld rechargeable radio frequency unit. Now, did it do much to shrink the skin? Not at all, but it did a nice job of thickening up the skin. Now, sometimes people will complain of dark circles, redness, and a lot of that is hereditary, and it's hard. But the only thing that I've ever seen lighten up hereditary under eye darkness was LED. And it's tricky. I have, or used to have, a little LED wand with one LED light at the end. And so I was able to combine sort of a flushing out effect of the probe with LED. And I would do 5 minutes each eye, and it was a great treatment. Now, I don't know where you could find a one probe LED wand. I've not seen those in a very long time. Usually people want a larger LED so they can cover more area. And so it's a little difficult to get up underneath that eye. But that's really, and I believe it was the combined action of massage plus LED that got that area to lighten. Otherwise, it's a really tough area. I imagine some lasers could do if it's vascular, you know, if it's red underneath there and you pull the tissue and you see that there are little veins in there and they're very, very close together, and that's why it looks red. I would think that there would be some sort of laser or something, but it would probably have to go pretty deep, and I don't know if I'd want to do that to that area. Unfortunately, that leaves us with concealing it with makeup, and there's some makeups that are better than others, but what I've found for me, there is a palette by Kryolan, Kryolan, and I always go to the shows and they have like little palettes. The actual base makeup is just too thick for me to wear everywhere, but underneath the eyes it works like gangbusters because it gives you all these different colors where you can sort of peach up or use salmon underneath here. It's called color correcting, you know, and this is all the rage right now, and the contouring and the shadowing and everything. Yeah, there are 1,000 videos on YouTube on how to disguise under eye circles. So I really don't know anybody that looks 100% great without under eye correction, you know, some sort of makeup under their eye. So I think it's funny because people will say, oh, I just want to be able to go without makeup. And makeup's not really the enemy. The makeup protects our face from the sun and the elements, and you know, walking around without makeup is fine, but I think we all look better with it on. It's horrible to say. I mean, I get what my clients are saying. They don't want to have to be bound and rely on makeup to look better, but we just all look better with some color. So that's about all I know out of all the things I've used. Now, if you have under eye puffiness, you can get those teeny tiny little silicone cups, and I will look for a picture to show you of that. And those work nicely. I remember one time I was working on a smoker and I was cupping her entire face. And for some reason, smokers get a lot of buildup around their eyes as far as lymph. Well, you know, the whole face. So I was using all these little cups, and I found something else that's really nice for the eye area, for puffy eyes. Now, this is bigger. This is for, like, you know, a bigger purchase of skin. But I found these little guys, and I will put them into my little pulsed suction machine. And I remember I was going up around her eyes, and it sucked a whole, you know, if you turned it up, and you really don't want to do that around the eyes too much, but she had a denser, tougher skin. She was younger. She was in her late 20s, and so I was just kind of letting her have it through here. And now I would probably do facial contouring massage on her, but it just sucked up a big purchase of her upper eye lid and it flushed it out. It was like, on smokers sometimes I'll go in with my hands and I can feel a little grittiness, just, it's almost like crystals stuck underneath the skin, and it is really weird, but it flushes out really nicely. And the gal was like, oh my God, what did you do to my eyes? They look amazing. And she was happy because she was getting married that weekend. So cupping does a really good job on under eye puffiness. And I would imagine it might do a good job if you have dullness or if you have just backed up blood supply in the area. And I've seen darkness under the eyes because of that as well. Now these are kind of fun, these little globes. These you put in a cup of ice, and then when you're ready to use them, or you can keep them in the freezer, when you're ready to use them, you put a little bit of oil or some water and you just do a little eye massage, and they feel so good. This, I don't know if this has Freon or whatever that is. It's something that holds coldness, but it just feels amazing. And that's really good for puffiness and just irritated eyes. Puffy eyes, I always know what to do. But when people have color under their eyes, it just depends on what's causing it. If it's capillary activity, that's tough. If they're blue veins, that's also tough. That's why I say, you know, get to know under eye makeup that has a correction color behind it, meaning an undertone, or you know, that's peachy. I think for red it's orange. I don't know. I don't have red under eyes. Mine are blue, so I always find something that's a peachy or salmony color underneath to disguise that, to cancel that out, and then I'll brighten the area. Another tool I really love for the under eye area, and be careful with this, but I love this because it is the ultrasonic spatula, and you can basically go in and make sure this area has gel or some sort of conductive, something that glides, and you'll just go back and forth a few times. You don't want to hold this in one place because you can actually burn the skin, especially the delicate skin underneath the eye. But you'll basically just do a swooping motion where you're moving the lymph out of the area. And this is just an ultrasonic blade that vibrates really fast, and it's gonna push any product past the Raines barrier. So it's gonna, the Raines barrier is basically what makes us waterproof, right? And so it has the ability to push product, you know, penetrate product quite nicely. And it's also gonna move puffiness and lymph in a really lovely way. You can also hold it like this just for a second, just tap it and move on. But don't leave it there, because I sure enough, I'd had somebody contact me saying that she got a little blister. I was like, how did you do that? So yeah, don't linger with that, just keep it moving. What else do I have? Gosh, I have so many things for the under eyes, but you know, I use my fingers a lot. And in my group on Facebook, I show ways to really clear out that lymph and really work up around the socket. And it's almost shocking how it feels at first, but then it causes this flush, this lymphatic flush that just gets all stagnant stuff around the eyes to just move on out. It's really nice. So lots of options there. Chances are, if your under eye darkness is hereditary, it's going to be really difficult, if not impossible, to lighten it. If it is just stagnated blood or stagnation, regular facial massage, ultrasonic spatula, using combining maybe radio frequency and the ultrasonic spatula, microcurrent and and you know, you can combine modalities. Don't overwork the area, because you will see it will get fatigued and it won't be pretty. So I hope that helps, and I have a lot of other videos. I actually have another video on under eye puffiness where I show some really cool tools. It's a little bit older, but you might want to check that one out. So be sure to check out my other videos, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.